What's up, guys? We are back at it, continuing right along with the Sierra 2500 Denali build. This is going to be episode 2 on the build series. Stick around, let's see what we get into today. Alright, so here we are back in the truck, figuring out what we're going to do for our lighting. So I got this this switch box here from Oracle, and I'm thinking I'm going to just drop it down there in the console like that, and probably just have the wires go straight down underneath this edge and under the console. The other switch panel, this guy, I think I'm going to mount it up high inside the console. There's just nowhere that I could put it inside the dashboard here to make it look good. I thought about it, thought about going up high, the tray. There's just nowhere that I, even this pocket here, it just doesn't work. So I think I'm going to take this and mount it right there like that. So that's, as you're looking down there, it's on a 45 degree. It's angled up towards the driver. It will be illuminated. So yeah, I can see everything, hit all the buttons, and just close the lid. And that one on the bottom, I'd have to lean over to see underneath this one. But you could see it. It's one of those set it and forget it things. Once I set the settings on this one down here on the bottom, I'll never have to touch it again. So I'm not one of those guys that's going to change colors and do all crazy. I'll just set everything on a solid color that I want, probably blue. Probably blue on everything. Probably the rock lights, probably the wheel lights, the DRLs. Everything will probably end up being blue on the truck. The backlighting on the pods, everything. The only thing that I'll have be red will probably be the demon eyes. So anyway, let's see what I figure out as far as getting this thing mounted. So after a little finagling, I got all my wires, pigtails are pulled out, and I have my control box mounted there for all of my lights. And down there below, I have the controller for the LED lights that are going to be going to the wheel lights and the DRLs on the front of the truck. So I just drilled a small hole through there, ran them right down inside the center console, and same thing with this one here. This box that's got the wire running down, and it's tucked behind. See it there? Tucked behind the tray liner of the bottom of the console. Pulled them out here, and it's getting dark. So I'm going to go ahead and ravel them up, zip tie them, and stuff them up underneath that panel in there. And I can come back to it tomorrow and start wiring up some things. And before I lost all my daylight, I went ahead and put on this Sinister diesel exhaust tip. I did have to come in here and cut back the pipe about 1.5 inches because it was sticking out too far, and I wanted the tip to actually cover it. So looks pretty good on there, not bad. Looking around in the engine bay, there's not a whole lot of places that will accommodate the new control panel box, fuse panel, whatever you want to call it. But I did find that right here on top of this one fuse box here, this cover here is actually really a great location. I could set the control panel, the fuse panel, on top of this box, and power is right here off the second battery. It comes with a circuit breaker for the battery as well. So I have a wire about this long, and then you got the circuit breaker, and then you got another wire about that long. I can just zip tie the circuit breaker right here to this set of wires right there and connect it to the battery. It's about the best place I could find to put it for now. I've got my cover here. I've already cleaned it off, and I took a paint pen and put 2 little dots where my screws are going to go. The control panel will fit like that. So it'll sit on here where you see that little paint dot through the hole there. So it's going to sit like that. And what I'll do is I'll get some Gorilla tape, and I'll put some tape on the back side of this and tape it onto this surface, as well as use the 2 screws to attach it. I've already cleaned the surface with I actually used Windex. It's a clean surface. I cleaned all the dust off and scrubbed it with a terry towel and some Windex. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get these holes pre-drilled. I've checked for clearances. I've already taken, the screw, measured the depth, taken away the depth of the bracket here. And I've already walked back to check inside the fuse box to make sure that when this screw goes through the edge, it's not going to hit anything underneath here, because I don't want to hit a fuse or a relay or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get these holes pre-drilled, get this mounted onto here, and get this put in the truck, and then I can mount my circuit breaker and I'll start running wires to this. And there it is, all attached. Got Gorilla Tape across the bottom and Gorilla Tape across the top, and then I got the screw in it there. Pre-drilled my hole and mounted. So here we are with the power connected. It's running from the box here down to our circuit breaker, running straight into the hot side. I had an available opening on the second battery on the truck, and the ground wire going from here out of the circuit, or the fuse panel. It's going to come around, down, up, and it's going to tie in right here to the factory chassis ground. That cable there runs straight to the battery. Yes, lots of corrosion. I need to get that cleaned up. I have the circuit breaker currently turned off. As you see, that little lever, that little red switch, it's actually down. In order to do that, make sure it's actually off, you just press the little red button, and now there's no power to it. So it's open. I'm going to go ahead and put this little plastic cover back on there, and I'm going to go ahead and take this cover here and put this back onto that as well, and then I can go ahead and start running wires for my next project. And there we are, installed and clean looking. Next up, we're going to be working on these rock lights. I got a pair of them sitting here on the ground. There is one 2-foot extension cable there to connect between the two of them. I have a 10-foot extension right here, got another extension right there, and then I have a 10-foot extension also right here. Here's another pair. There's a 10-foot extension laying underneath the tire there. Got all my stuff laid out on the ground. I'm ready to go. Made sure all my parts were here. Extension cables, pair of rock lights, extensions, rock lights. I'm going to go ahead and install these rock lights around the truck, and then I'll run around it and tidy up the wiring on it. I've got my lights installed. This is the driver's side front. You see them up there. And they all have their 10-foot extension connected to them. So same thing on the passenger side. I'm working on the wiring now. This is my harness for the Heise rock lights. So the thing is, they do have a left and a right option that you can tie into if you wanted to, change colors on opposite sides, or if you wanted to, use blinkers, you could tie your blinkers into it. I've already cut off the colors here on this. There is, you see there's a white, a yellow, and a green. You got yellow and green, that's going to be left and right signal input, and then the white is going to be brake input. So if you're off-roading or in an ATV or something like that, and you want to have this thing hooked up to where you hit your brake lights and they all go red, while you're out in the woods, or if you, have your left turn signal or your right turn signal on, then it'll go amber or flash or whatever on that side of the vehicle. I'm not into all that. I'm driving this truck on the street. I don't really care for the turn signal function, and I certainly don't want them all to go red whenever I hit the brakes. So I have simplified this harness, cut those off. I'm going to wrap this with electrical tape right here, and I got my positive and negative. This is Bluetooth controlled. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and connect it to the corresponding output. As you see, it's, you got left to right, you got 10 amp, 15, 20, and 30 amp. When I go inside and look at my switch, I got to put it where the rock lights, where I set it up for, which I did double check the amperage, by the way. All right, so looking inside here, rock lights, it's switch position 1. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. So switch 1 is the rock lights, and switch 1 position is, I've already marked it with paint. You see the paint marker, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to be tying into this one here on the positive and negative right here on these two. I still have some daylight left. I got all my rock lights tested and everything works. All that's good. I'm going to go ahead and put on the wheel rings as well. Since I got some daylight, I'll just put them on. If everything works out and I got time to go ahead and get it all wired up, then I'll button up all the wires at once and be done with it. If not, then I'll just coil up all the wires and zip tie them up and out of the way wherever they're at. That way I can still drive the truck and not have to worry about getting back at it. Just giving a quick update in the middle of all this entire process. I already got the rock lights all mounted, as you saw just a moment ago, but I now also kind of jumped the gun without sharing much, and I went ahead and installed my my ring lights. You see them through the wheel there in the back. I got the rings installed on all 4 wheels already. Didn't show the process. I was burning daylight yesterday, so, you know, just kind of knocking it out. But anyway, I'm at the process now of tidying up all my wires and trying to get everything squared away so it'll be nice and clean. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the Speedway Motors billet aluminum license plate bracket with light. I'm going to be installing this billet aluminum bracket on my Move rear bumper on my 2500 Denali. So as most folks know, whenever you buy a steel bumper, there really isn't many LED or tag light options available without having to fabricate something yourself. So I went online and I discovered the Speedway Motors billet aluminum license plate bracket that also has a built-in incandescent tag light just at the very top of it. It looked like a really nice piece. Everything on my particular truck is chrome or polished and white. So I was looking for something polished, stainless, something like that, and I happened to come across this bracket. So the delivery just got here. Let's have a look at what we have. All right, so this is our Speedway Motors box. This is how it comes. Part number for this particular item is 910-50135, and it is the aluminum, it is a billet aluminum lighted license plate frame. When you open the box up here, there's your mounting hardware. It comes with a supplied Allen key for your mounting bolts. And here's your frame. Nice and protected in foam wrapping. So there it is. And I will say it does look very nice. The light here does detach from the frame itself, but the frame is one solid piece of billet aluminum. You know, it is one solid piece. It's really nice. I'm impressed with this. It has little grooves in the back here that are made to slide into the slot for your license plate. So your license plate will sit inside that groove and probably not move at all. We'll find out here shortly. And the light is supposed to be an incandescent light, which I'm not a fan of. I want an LED light. So I'm going to take this one a step further here and take it apart. As you can see here, you've got a little Allen key there and a little Allen key screw there as well. And it just has the one power light. I'm guessing that with the bolts through the factory tag location, it will ground the frame that way, which is why there's no ground wire. So yeah, let me go ahead and get an Allen wrench out and take this off and see how this looks. The light bracket does come straight off of the frame here. Looks like this little piece of plastic inside here is just sitting there. It's a frosted cover to help disseminate the light and not have any hot spots. This is also a solid billet aluminum piece that's been machined. Really nice. It looks good. So our lights here is 2 incandescent old school dome lights. Let's see if I can get a model number. So as I roll this little guy around to try to see the indentations there, it says 12 volt 3 watt. So this is a 12 volt 3 watt bulb. I'm going to get some measurements off of this and also tell you, or also show you what kind of bulb online that you can buy maybe on Amazon as an LED that will replace this guy. I want 2 LEDs. So I took this little guy here and I pulled a measuring tape across it. The length of this is going to be, you know, trying to cross-reference the bulb size. I was not really successful with cross-referencing the actual size. But looking at the bulb, it is length, not counting the tip, okay? Not the tip. So the cone, the conical shape there, take that away. Where it starts with the boxed end here. So the flat part where that starts at the very edge. From that edge to this edge over here is 1.18 inches. It's actually 1 3/16. 1 3/16 inches from there to there, and they want it in a decimal form, so that's 1.18 inches. And then the thickness of this is actually going to be 5/16 of an inch, which is in decimal form 0.31. Here on Amazon, what I have found is a light that pretty much will fit. It's 12 volts, it's LED, it shows 0.22 inches in width on the contact there. And what I had was 0.31, which is just slightly larger. The tangs that hold the bulb on the end right here were very tight. It was very difficult to get this off. But those little tangs, you can bend them tighter or you can widen them a touch if you want, you know, to accommodate a larger diameter base of a bulb. So they were so tight on this, the difference of, we'll say like 5 sheets of paper to be the thickness of that is that much looser. I'm pretty sure there won't be any issue with that bulb fitting in there. As far as the length goes, It is 1.18 inches, which happens to be exactly what I got, 1.18. So that bulb is going to be a perfect fit. And again, I will put a link in the description below, but there is your description of this particular bulb. And I need 2 of them. This is going to be a pack of 20. I don't know why I would need that many, but 10 bucks, free shipping. The shipping is going to cost 10 bucks no matter what anyway, so you might as well go ahead and buy this. Anyway, I'm going to get that guy there, and let's see what it looks like when I get it all installed. So here we are, all buttoned up and done. And there's our fuse panel right there, mounted on top of the other fuse panel. Wires all tucked in here, down around the side. And inside the truck, there we have it. Inside of our console, simple push of the button. I can turn on or off the rock lights. Obviously the wheel rings is powering this controller down here, which runs down at the bottom. So when I turn it on, it turns on. There's all that. I can turn it all together on and off right here with this switch. And I can change the colors. I think I'll leave it right there. All right. And here we are without the white lights and everything else turned on. That's a wrap, folks. Pretty happy with it. Only got half the stuff done that needs to get done. So that's it for today. The next step we'll be doing is getting the RGB LED lights put in, the demon eyes. Probably knock those out with the white switchback lights and the headlights as well. Going to be doing the tail lights also. That's coming up. Powder coat is on back order with the bumpers, so it'll be a little bit longer before I can get those in here and get them wired up. But yeah, moving along. Thank you so much for watching the channel. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you're new. Also like and follow along. If you're watching DIY Dozier, as always, share the knowledge, share the passion, share the skill, do it yourself.